Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Victoria DeVette, and today we're going to be looking at the new Huda Beauty Brown Obsessions eyeshadow palettes, along with the revamped Lip Contour 2.0 lip pencils and two of the Power Bullet Cream Glow Hydrating lipsticks. So I do have all three of the Brown Obsessions palettes with me, the chocolate, caramel, and toffee. They of course each have 9 different shades and they retail for $29 each. The new Lip Contour 2.0 automatic matte lip pencils come in 12 different shades and they are $19 each. I picked up the warm brown pencil along with the Very Berry, so a nude one and kind of a more dramatic colorful one. The new Cream Glow Hydrating lipsticks come in 14 different shades and they retail for $25 each. I picked up the Boss Chick shade along with the Sweet Cheeks shade. I personally was so excited when I saw the Brown Obsessions palettes. I love playing around with brown makeup, whether it be eyeshadows or lipsticks. I think they're so versatile. I think they look good on all skin tones, so I'm really excited to do some looks for you guys today with each of the palettes. And honestly, these lip products seem very promising, so I'm really excited about them too. I never did try the non-revamped version of the lip pencils or the matte versions of the lipsticks. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you these swatches and then we'll get into the looks.
I know you're tired of waiting, but my friend said that we need some patience. We don't wanna wait no more. Can't take breaks no more. I've needed company from you lately. Fill my head with some clouds, baby. Fill my brain with some ecstasy. I'm sick of daydreaming. I just want the feeling of you in my bed. I'm down to just waste time right below your waistline. Want you by my head. Want you by my head. I'm done with all this FaceTime. Need some alone time, baby. You're always running in my mind. I'm sick of daydreaming. I just want the feeling of you in my bed. Of you in my bed. So we can walk while it's raining. Sun is
So I'm going to take this lighter brown. It's going to take that in the crease and a little bit above the crease. And I'm using a light hand for this. I'm going to take it on the far outer corner as well. Just to give this a little bit more of a blend, I'm going to take the lightest shade in here, which is this light cream color. Okay, so now I'm going to take this warm, rich brown in this corner, and I'm going to deepen up the outer corner, the crease, and the inner portion to start to kind of create that halo effect. Just lightly blending it as I'm applying it so it doesn't get too stuck in one place, if that makes sense. Using a light hand for this as well. Okay, so now I'm going to take the darkest shade in here, which is this rich cool tone brown. I'm just going to go over those same areas, just really deepening it up. And I want to make the edges a little bit warmer, so I'm going to take some of that matte yellow in the center of the palette, just on a super fluffy brush, just kind of going over those edges. I wish this yellow was a little bit more pigmented. Okay, so now I'm going to take some concealer. I am using the e.l.f. Camo Concealer in medium beige. I'm going to use the concealer to cut out that center section. I always do like to apply a little bit of primer over the concealer. So on the outer sections, I'm going to take this like orangey gold shade here, and then in the center I'm going to use this more yellowy gold. So first going in with that more bronzy orangey gold. This shimmer is actually really nice. It's very pigmented. I think the shimmers that people don't really like in the Huda palettes are the ones that are meant to be toppers. So they're much lighter, they're not very pigmented because you're really just kind of meant to dust them on top of the other eyeshadows. This one is not one, so it is pretty pigmented. Got a really nice like creaminess to it. So now in the center I'm going to take that yellow gold. The difference is very subtle. So they do have good pigment, they do blend easily together, but I feel like they blended too easily and they kind of look like the same shade almost. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in with this brown here and just kind of blend out those edges. And I think this shade on top of that gold is actually really nice. It's really bringing out the warm tones in this brown. And now you can really start to see the difference between the outer edges and that inner gold. And now I am going to use one of the toppers in the center of my lid. So I'm going to use this one in this upper row. And I'm just taking that on my finger. On the inner corner, I am going to use this bright marble shimmer. It is kind of like a topper. This one is very powdery and light. You can barely see it. I'm going to use it for my inner corner highlight. As well as lightly tap that on the brow bone. Okay, so I've gone ahead and done the other side and my face, and now I'm going to move on to the lower lash line. And I'm going to take that warm brown and just bringing it in from the outer corner. I'm not going to take it all the way in. I'm going to stop about right here. Now I'm going to take that orangey bronzy gold. I'm going to start that in the center. I actually think I want to dampen my brush for this, so I'm just taking a little bit of setting spray. Just blending it in with that brown. Just kind of wiping that off and re-dampening my brush, and now going in with that yellow gold. And I'm gonna bring this all the way in to meet the inner corner. Okay, so now I'm gonna move on to lashes. And for lashes, I'm going to be using these House of Lashes Sephora collection, and they are the Amelia ones. I think in one of my last videos, I said HQ. I know that they're called House of Lashes, but their little logo looks like HQ to me. And now I'm just realizing it's like an HOL, which makes much more sense than HQ. Okay, so now I can't decide if I want to do a bold lip with this look or a neutral, because it's not super dark, like a super dark look. I can do either or, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you both. I'm gonna start with the nude look. So taking the warm brown lip pencil, it's really just gliding on. And that is a very beautiful nude, very beautiful brown nude. And I have more of a pinky nude, which is Sweet Cheeks, but I also do have a brown nude, which is Boss Chick. So I think I'm gonna use this one. It feels really good. It feels very hydrating. And this is kind of like a bold nude lip, I would say. It's not like a light, subtle nude lip. It's definitely present. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a bolder lip with this look. And I don't think I'm going to use a lipstick. I think I'm only going to use the lip pencil because it is a beautiful berry color, which I think will just look really good with this look. And it's just going on so beautifully. Now I wish I had one of the older lip pencils to compare them, because these are supposed to be more buttery, more smooth. And I can attest, they are buttery and smooth. I just want to know what they were like before, you know? Now I love nude lipsticks, but there is just something about a bold lip. This is very fall-ish, I would say, but I love it. I love it with this lip. And this is the finished look using the Toffee palette. Okay, so now I'm gonna move on to the Caramel palette. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the Caramel palette. And it is actually the next day after I filmed the Toffee palette and I got my nails done. And look, they match the Caramel palette. I decided to go for the tortoise shell and gold. I think they came out really cute. Okay, so my lids are primed. This palette is all about the oranges and I'm really excited about it. I love oranges and browns. Burnt orange, like terracotta, is like my favorite color. So I'm gonna start with this orange matte and I'm just gonna start to build that in the crease and blending upwards. think I want to do a half cut crease for this one. And then the last one, the chocolate palette, I think I'm not going to use any concealer on my lids. I'm going to just kind of go for a more smoky, dramatic look. So the shade is going on beautifully. Okay, so now I'm going to use this neutral beige shade here, and I'm going to take that on a fluffier brush and use that to blend out the edges of this orange. Adding a little bit more of this orange. Okay, so now on the outer corner and in the crease to kind of deepen it up a little bit, I am going to take this warm brown. Going back in with that neutral beige on those edges. Okay, now taking some concealer, again using that e.l.f. Camo Concealer. Instead of cutting it at the beginning of my lid, I'm gonna go on the whole inner corner. I like doing half cut creases because they're pretty simple. They look not as simple as they are. Just kind of smoothing out that concealer at the end here. And I'm going to go back in and blend it out. Going in with a little bit of primer. Okay, so starting on the inner corner, I'm going to take the lightest shimmer in here. And this one's kind of like a very light, rosy, coppery gold. You can kind of see that it's meant to be a topper because it's just so light. It's like a peachy gold. I'm taking that onto the lid as well from the inner corner. Kind of doing a gradient, so I'm going to take the next one, got some like orange shimmer and some gold shimmer, and when you mix it you get like this really pretty orangey gold. I'm going to take this one right around up to here, and then the next one that is going to pretty much fill this area is this beautiful red orange shade. Now lastly, on the outer corner, and to kind of fill in the rest of this concealer, I'm going to take the darkest shade in here, and this color, I absolutely love it. It's such a beautiful like brown. I'm taking this on the outer corner, carefully blending into that red orange. And kind of creating a little like wing shape, like a V shape on the end. It's very pigmented and it's a beautiful color. Go back in with a little bit of that red orange. Also taking my fluffy brush and a little bit of that first orange along with this beige. I'm going to kind of mix the two, go over those edges. Once again, I'm going to lightly take this shade on my brow bone as well. Okay, and I am going to do a winged liner with this look, and I'm using the NYX Epic Ink liner. Okay, so now I'm going to do the other eye and my foundation. I'll be back to finish up the lower lash line and lips. Okay, so for the lower lash line, I'm going to take some of that orange matte shade. I'm just taking it all across my lower lash line. Now on the outer corners of my lower lash line, I'm going to darken it with this brown. And lastly, I'm going to take that peachy gold that I used on my inner corner and bring it down to meet the bottom shades. And I am going to use a damp brush for that. For lashes, I'm going to be using the House of Lashes Sephora collection in Amethyst. And I'm also going to add a brown liner in my waterline. I am using the LA Girl Ultimate Intense Stay Auto Liner in Lasting Brown. Okay, so for my lips, I still want to use some of the Huda lip products, but I also want a more orangey lip to kind of go with this look. So to start, I am going to be using the Warm Brown Lip Contour. Okay, so I am going to be using this liquid lipstick from Morphe. It is the shade Spicy. Okay, and this is the finished look using the Caramel palette. So now I'm going to move on to the last palette, the Chocolate palette. Okay, so moving on to the Chocolate palette, I did say that I want to do a bit more of a smoky eye look with this palette, so that's what we're going to do. When I picked up these palettes, my husband was so excited about this shade in particular. Definitely going to incorporate that shade. So to start, I'm going to take this dark matte, like a purpley brown. And I'm just packing that on the outer corner. And I'm going to take this in the crease. And I am going to bring it in. It's actually going on really nicely. Okay, so now I'm going to take like this mauve-y brown, and I'm going to use that to kind of smoke out this dark shade. Now using the shade that my husband really wants me to use, this one here, I'm going to pretty much go over the dark sections with this shade. Okay, now on my finger I'm going to take this shade. It's a beautiful like, purpley brown shimmer. And I'm going to tap this on the center of my lid. So I think I'm going to leave the lid alone for now. And on the inner corner, I'm going to take this light pink rosy gold. Kind of blending it into those dark shades just so it doesn't look so randomly placed. Tiny bit of fallout with the dark shades. Now on the brow bone, I'm going to take this light peachy pink matte shade. Okay, so now I'm going to do the other eye and my face, and I'll be back to finish up the lower lash line and the lips. Okay, so now for the lower lash line, I'm going to keep it very smoky. So I'm going to bring down that dark matte. I'm taking it all the way across, going back and forth to kind of start to feather it out. Now on a damp brush, I'm going to take that shimmer that I used on the center of my lid, and I'm going to take that on the center of my lower lash line. So this is kind of like a really smoky, non-defined halo eye, kind of like the first look. And I'm going to take a black liner in my waterline. I'm using the one from NYX. It's the Epic Wear Liner Stick. Okay, now I am going to take a liquid liner and create a base for my lashes. And for lashes, I'm going to be using the same amethyst ones from House of Lashes and Sephora that I used in the second look. Okay, so now for the lips, we are going to mostly do a nude. I am going to use a little bit of the Very Berry pencil that I used in the first look. So I'm actually going to start off with that. And I'm going to go very lightly. Now I'm going to go in with the warm brown pencil, and I'm going to start by going a little bit further in than the berry one. So it's starting to kind of create a little gradient. so now I'm going to take the cream lipstick, and this is the shade Sweet Cheeks. Just going back in with a little bit more of Sweet Cheeks to redefine. Okay, and this is the finished look using the chocolate palette. And that is all 3 looks using the new Brown Obsessions palettes from Huda Beauty, along with 2 of the new Power Bullet Cream Glow lipsticks and 2 of the new Lip Contour 2.0 lip pencils. So first, let's talk about the palettes. I am in love with all of the color stories in each of the palettes. I think they're all so different and unique. I think they're absolutely stunning. I think you get a really nice variety in all of the palettes. So it really makes it worth getting all 3 palettes, in my opinion. I personally love the packaging. As far as the performance of the eyeshadows go, the mattes were super pigmented. They blended beautifully. There was hardly any fallout with these palettes. As for the shimmers, they all performed beautifully as well. They were pigmented, they went on smoothly. There was little to no fallout with them as well. But of course, there are a few shimmers in each of the palettes, like 1 or 2, that are a little bit drier. They are less pigmented, and I think I'm like 90% sure that it's because those are meant to be toppers. So they're really meant to just go on top of other eyeshadows to give a little bit of extra sparkle. And I don't think a lot of people realize that when they are using them, which is why they can seem lackluster and like they just don't perform well in general. But I really think it's just because of the purpose of those eyeshadows compared to the other shimmers. They are not meant to be the same. Those do tend to have a little bit more fallout than the other shimmers because they are drier, and if you pick them up with a brush they can get a little bit flaky. So personally, I do think that they perform best when they are used with a damp brush or your finger. But overall, I think these are really beautiful palettes. I'm personally very happy that I picked them up. Now moving on to the lipsticks and the lip pencils. I'm going to be getting every shade of both of these because they just are amazing. The lipsticks are so creamy. They give a beautiful glow. They're so lovely to put on. I believe it even says like on the description on the website that you're not going to want to stop applying it. You're going to want to keep reapplying it just because it feels so good. And I definitely have to agree with that. They come in 2 different ranges. One are more pinky nudes and the others are more brown nudes. As for the lip pencils, they glided on so smoothly. They were very pigmented. They were easy to control. And honestly, they're probably one of the best lip pencils that I've ever used, so I'm definitely going to be stocking up on these as well. So let me know what you guys think of the palettes and the lipsticks and lip pencils, if you guys have tried them yet, if you guys are planning to. That is all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.